Hi there, this is Kevin Stewart Builds 250. I'm Kev, and this is instalment number 5 of Build the Ghostbusters Ecto-1. Okay, so as with instalment number 4, there's no separate magazine with this, so we're just going to get straight into it. Let's have a look what we get with part pack number 5. Okay, so that's all the parts laid out for stage number 5. Okay, so let's get on with kind of constructing this then. So to fix the gearbox connector, take the gearbox connector, sorry, the gearbox connector is this T-piece. There are 2 T-pieces, it's the smaller of the 2 T-pieces. So the gearbox connector is the smaller one with the raised part as well. Take the gearbox connector and place it on the narrow end of the bell housing with that pointing that way, so it kind of goes on like that. And then fit in place with 2 DM screws from the back. 2 screws into that. DM screws, so going into metal, a bit fiddly. Which is recommended. You can part 2, take it out and then halfway and then back in all the way. Tighten it up so it's holding it. And that seems to have worked quite well. Actually, that method of taking it halfway, reversing it, and then back in to remove any of the cut swarf. Okay, for the first part done. Next part is assembling the bell housing. Insert the long end of the bell housing connector. So this is the longer of the 2 T-pieces. Okay. Through the slot in the bell housing plate, affixing the 2 DM screws, push plate, circular frame, so it kind of goes in that way. And then it's 2 DM screws again to affix this to the bell housing. I'm probably going to try that method again. Take it in, reverse it out, take it in again. Same with this one. Take it in, reverse it out, and then take it all the way in. So it's nice and tight. That's not tight enough. That's better. So that method of kind of removing the swarf, because you are cutting, it's like when you tap a thread, you have to remove the tap every now and again. Okay, so the next part, we've got the bell housing. Oh no, we need to fit this onto the bell housing first. Okay, so with that facing that way, that's got to go away. And then fitting that in, securing that with EM screws. So yeah, make sure you got that facing, protrusion facing that way before you put in that area, that little protrusions match up. And it's EM screws, 3 of. Yep, that's now nice tight. It was quite loose before. So almost like taking it all the way, taking the screw in halfway, reversing it all the way in, taking it out, blowing off, getting rid of the swarf, and putting it back in. That's kind of working for me. Okay. Now it's putting the gearbox itself, the housing of the gearbox on. So that's pointing to my right. The sump part, the oil pan, into there. And then we're going to connect that up with a DM screw. That was tough. That was tough to go in. It's still not 100% secure. So yeah, that's now secured. But wow, that was quite tough. I actually took the gearbox off, cut the thread of it without it actually on the bell housing, and then put it in afterwards. But yeah, that's pretty tough. That was pretty tough to get in. Don't mind saying. Okay. Then the next part goes over that. We're connecting that with EM screws. Yeah, definitely I would recommend getting a good quality screwdriver or screwdriver set, because these screws, especially going into the metal, pretty tough to go in. But the method of taking it in, taking it out, or taking it out halfway and then putting it back in. Does seem to help. If you're having trouble getting those in, I'm not 100% happy with how that's how secure that is. Okay, I had to use a spare DM screw. I wasn't happy with how that was holding it on, so I've used the spare DM, well yeah, the one spare DM screw I had, and that seems to be holding it a bit better. Yeah, it wasn't loose, but it was definitely not as tight as I wanted it on the gearbox onto the valve housing. That's better. Yeah, I'm a lot happier with that. Okay, and the last thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting the sump onto the bottom of the gearbox. Okay, it's got a little keyway. Good to see, but it's got a little keyway there. Obviously that matches up. The sump goes in, and then that's attached with an EM screw. And that's your gearbox complete, really. Some of those screws, yeah, they were nasty. They were nasty to go in. Okay, so that's stage 5 completed. So that's the gearbox kind of made. Getting those screws in ain't the easiest. We'll see how we go with whether it's going to need a little bit of WD-40 on the screws or something like that to kind of help those in. Okay. So if you'd like to see the progression of the Ecto-1 or the F40, Ferrari F40 that I'm doing, or the Spitfire, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you want to be notified anytime that a video goes live, please remember to click the bell. And thank you very much for watching. Take care and hope to see you next time. Ta-da!